I will start with my dear friend here, and let him introduce himself, although he needs no introduction.
How do you do, everyone? I'm Nabeshi.
非常に緊張してます。パネルっていうのは初めてなんですけども、緊張してます。
This is my first time at a panel, so I'm very nervous about it.
すいません、大嘘つきです。
I'm sorry, I'm also a big liar.
My name is Chris Ayers. I'm an ADR director for ADV Films, Amusement Park Media, Seraphim Digital Media. Some of the shows that I have directed are Xenosaga the Animation, Mermaid Melody Pichi Pichi Pitch, Machikano, and I've had the great honor to work on Nabeshin's Nerima Daikon Brothers, and was the ADR director for the second season of The Wallflower. Great honor to do both of those shows. And this lovely gentleman.
I'm Ian Sinclair. I direct Black Butler. Also, I've directed Initial D, and a couple other shows that I'm not allowed to talk about. I direct for Funimation.
So, this panel is about directing, both in terms of creation, ADR directing, what we do, how we do it. So, this is a Q&A, so we cannot provide A unless you provide Q. So, yes, right back there.
Nabeshin Sensei, could you teach director to director, the American directors like Chris, about personal fashion sense?
彼のセンスは最高です。
He has great fashion sense.
あと彼に足りないのはアフロと赤いジャケット。
The only thing Chris is missing are an afro and a red jacket.
I'll work on that for the next time.
じゃあ僕はこのでかいコーラを。
And I would need to learn how to carry around the big mug.
Another question. Another question. Yes.
Okay, this is kind of a weird question, but I'm going to do the best I can. It's kind of directed to both Chris and Nabeshin. Nabeshin, when you do something like Nerima Daikon Brothers, Wallflower, and I don't know how they do the process of getting it over to an American studio. Do you normally try to recommend an American director that you've worked with, or do they just try to find someone who would fit it perfectly, as far as translating it to an American audience?
少なくとも練馬大根ブラザーズに関しては日本で作ってる最中これは絶対アメリカ版には作れないだろうと思ってました。
Specifically for Nerima Daikon Brothers, I was convinced while making this in Japan that it would be impossible to do an English version of it.
これ絶対不可能だと思っていたものがいつの間にかクリスが全部僕の選手をそのままに英語版にしてくれたっていうんで実ははっきりとびっくりしました。
But so what I thought was impossible was made possible through the miracle work by Chris Ayers. So I was very impressed.
クリスはナベシンの一筆詞アメリカ版ナベシンだと思っても過言ではないと思います。
So you could almost consider Chris Ayers to be the American Nabeshi.
Oh my God. I'm not worthy of that, but I can explain how things work from the American end. when Nerima Daikon Brothers came in, they knew that they needed someone who had a background in getting actors to sing, who was also slightly crazy. So they approached me knowing that I was a huge fan of Nachi. And so they knew that I would try to do what he would want with the show. Also the fact that I've directed musical theater for most of my life, that had a lot to do with it. Well, then we got The Wallflower. And the first season of that was directed by Matt Greenfield, who also directed Excel Saga, Puni Puni Poemi, and also has a great history with Nabashin's work. Before we started the second season, Matt had to go to Japan for some business meetings, so he could not finish the show. And the studio actually wanted to give it to a different director. And Matt Greenfield put his foot down and said, absolutely not. The only person I will trust to direct this is Chris Ayres. He knows Nabashin very well. They are friends, and he will try to do what Nabashin would want done. And so I was very grateful for the opportunity to do the second season of Wallflower. So that, that I don't usually have any control over what shows I'm giving. I hope all studios would give me every one of Nabashin's shows, because I love working on them.
Well, thank you for answering the question.
Another question? Yes, back here.
What's like your favorite type of anime to work on as far as like comedy or
For
romance?
each one of us?
Yes, for each one of you.
Can you explain to me?
出会いものが一番支えたいもの
Is it on video?
それはナベシンも
Is that question also directed to us?
Yes. Yes.
ナベシンはあらゆるジャンル、あらゆるアニメーションのやり方をすべて全部取り混ぜた、アニメーションが作りたいです。
Nabashin wants to make animation that incorporates every single aspect from every genre.
そしてアニメーション自体が、この世にある理由というのはみんなを幸せにするためのものだと思っていますので、みんなを幸せにできるアニメを作りたいと思います。
And I believe that anime exists for the purpose of making everyone happy, so I want to make anime that makes people happy.
というようにちょっとかっこいいこともたまに言うアニメーションです。
So I want to make anime that would have a suave message like that once in a while.
For me, and I'm not saying this because he's here, I really like working on Nabashin shows for a very specific reason. I love comedy. I've loved comedy my whole life. I firmly believe that you can touch someone's soul through making them laugh. In fact, Nabashin and I have had conversations. He gave me a beautiful wall scroll that said, what was it that was written on my wall scroll? What was the writing? I want to get this right.
日本語で言うと、泣くのも感動、笑うのも感動。
You move your heart by crying, you also move your heart by laughing.
And he gave me that he personally did the scroll for me. It's beautiful. It's hanging up in my home. And he and I both feel that way. One of the things that I love about working on his shows is that, yes, they are hysterically funny. And then there comes a moment where you realize that you care so much about these characters that they can break your heart while still making you scream laughing. The ending of The Wallflower just touches me so deeply. The ending of Nerima Daikon Brothers, when that stage is destroyed, I still can't watch it without crying. And then all of a sudden things pick up and it's wonderful again. And as a director, as an ADR director, to be able to take an audience through that gamut of laughter to tears, back to laughter, is an amazing experience. So it is not it is not lip service. It is not a glib statement when I say I really like working on Nabashin shows.
ありがとうございます。 今ここで日本とアメリカが一つになりました。
So these words just united Japan and the United States.
How do I follow them? I'm new, so I'm experiencing all this for the first time. I love comedy and I want to do more of it, but for me, it shows where I can get real acting, real deep acting, and that to me is something beautiful about this whole industry. Is we have stuff that can make you laugh, can make you cry, but they're real people, and that's my favorite stuff. Is when you can make anybody real, like even when they're crazy and big and over the top, you can make it real, and that's what's going to move somebody.